Alright guys, so back again with our Nazca game that we have going on. Of course, it's been a lot of fun. Got some nature gems from Vanheim. They also sent some Dwarven Hammer. Very, very sweet. Look for some sites, couldn't find any. We see a couple of battles here. Iryu versus Naba, us versus Independence. Shimiana versus the Balba, and then In versus Naba there. So interesting. A bunch of unexpected events. Patrolled a little bit, and we had a Malkweed die. So let's go ahead and check these out. So Irio attacked Nabab, but was defeated. I don't know if they broke out, but they were not able to deal. No, this is a province defense. Interesting. This is the province beside their cap. There's that Moloch there. I do remember seeing that for quite some time. We can actually view the battle just to see the Moloch. See what it's got going on here. Okay. Protection 30. There's a black steel sword, enchanted spear, dragon helmet, Rame halberd, and breath of winter, bracers of protection, a ring of the warriors. Stats are pretty high. MR is kind of on the lower side, 17. Morale 30. Leadership protection 30 is pretty sweet. It has such high natural protection, and then the halberd and dragon helmet are doing them pretty good. Has a chill aura of 6. Pretty high resistances here. Don't see any shock resistance though, or poison resistance. Fear 5. He is a demon. So a cool thing with our sacreds is that they deal 3 times as much damage to demons. So that was pretty interesting. I do like the Sun Mace here. I thought was a pretty interesting thing. So they're not dealing 18. They're dealing a lot fucking more than 18. So it doesn't matter that he has 30 protection. We can get through it just fine. So here's a Koya that we sacrificed. That was a twice born Koya. So we want to go ahead and get them having 0 upkeep. We could have saved them and, throw them in some battles. And if they died then, yeah, we would have had them. But those Koyas have pretty expensive upkeep if I remember. That's why I was like, fuck it, I'll just go ahead and kill them. Yeah, 130, so that's about 11 gold. 11 gold a turn that we saved there, so yeah. That's the reason why I did that. Ooh, that's a big battle. Lots of Bakemono and lots of frogs. Loving these big battles we're watching with them. There's huge amounts of troops they're bringing in. Huh. Must be a hero. I've never seen this guy before. Enlarged. What's that? Air gems there. So this is a Sabbath communion for what? Do they have Wailing Winds? Or are they casting something like... No, Wailing Winds, you'd have Death Gems. They could be casting like, I guess, Air Elementals. That's a hell of a hell of a Sabbath for Air Elementals, all these Camazots here. Some elephants on the side. Someone to bless. Some Claymen. Undead. Lots of frogs. Some dart throwers. Why are you making dart throwers? I don't know. I mean, I guess they don't have shields. They have low protection. I don't know the matchup very well. Okay, well... I was hoping to see more gems on this side, or else I'd definitely give the win over here. But with the lack of gems over there, frogs might have it this time. Maybe. Those air elementals can come through and deal with some of these commanders in the back. They might actually have a good chance here. Those elephants will do a good job trampling. They're gonna get killed fast, but they'll get a good amount of kills, I think. Strength of giants, lots of strength of giants, more than likely being cast over here. Dart throw is already coming up. See how well these dart throwers do. Range, what is the range? 12. About to throw. I was expecting a lot more. They're just gonna get eat up here. Having these dart throwers being hit first here, if they were like over here behind these spearmen, they'd be better off. Not really seeing a whole lot. I don't know what these Camazots are doing. Yeah, summon lesser elementals. Lesser elementals. Damn. Full-size ones would get the job done, I think, here. Yeah, these lesser aren't doing a whole lot. Having some units fall asleep. Got a lot of sleeping up here. Now they're on a dart, so they're moving in. But, I mean, goodness, the frogs have been mulched up pretty heavily now. Unless we see a mass rout, which is starting to look that way. I thought that would have been Simeona's game to win there, interestingly. Because he was just doing so good eating up all the units that Zabalba had. Why are these dart throwers the last things alive? Obsidian warriors here. The Obsidian warriors are different size than the rest, so they're size 3 compared to the size 2 frogs. Interesting. Didn't know these version of sacreds were larger than the normal frogs. Hell. Did not think that was going to go that way. Well, I did kind of say that from the beginning because they didn't have a whole lot of gems, but as I watched the battle progress, I'm surprised that it was going that way. It definitely looked like it was going to be more of a Shimiano was winning because all of that front line from Zabalba was taken care of. It just had to, I guess, hit that HP point where they routed. Oh, losing lots and just losing about the same amount on both sides here. Losing a Camazot, rather expensive. They lost a Child of Oni. I assume that's a hero since it didn't have a cost. Okay. Who came out ahead on this? I would probably say Simeona came out ahead just because their units are a lot cheaper than the rest of these here. So we see some Magogs here fighting some PD. We'll just check them out, see what they have going on. Very, very high density attacks here. They have arrows too. Horde of skeletons. No, raised dead. Oh, they do have horde of skeletons. Don't know why they cast raised dead to begin with. Very nice event there. We already talked about our white mage, of course. So this is the turn that we are going after Nabah. I know we mentioned last episode that we were ending our nap. That's the reason why we were going to war with them. But the timer is up. Vanheim is, I think, hiding around here. I think he has a lot of troops in this area. So we'll see a lot of raids happening there. Of course, we told him we were going to take care of this border we had with them. Just seeing a lot of cheap raiding parties and slaves over, trying to take as much as we can. So we'll see about that. Of course, we don't have a full, like we are making. Why haven't we made our condors already? What was I thinking? I guess our actual force of spearmen are over here. We see a lot of territory we can take for sure. Also looking to kind of take Iryu, if they are able to take it from Iryu We'll take it from Naba afterwards. Not really too focused on the Agartha side just because he is kind of farther away. But by taking all this land here, that should really start hurting Naba, taking his cap circle kind of. Of course, Naba, or not Naba, the End and Bandar Log are still raiding them, so I'm sure they're having troubles. I'm sure Agartha is doing most of the fighting over here. Having some troubles down here as well with End and Bandar being over here. I think this is kind of where End and Bandar are located. So yeah, this is going to be quite interesting. We'll have to definitely see how well our slaves do. Of course, they are slaves, so don't have too much faith in them, I guess. We do have a lot of slaves moving in and out of Province 30, because that is where we are making them at. We're making some vine shields and some pelts for Vanheim. We also are making a crystal coin. It's an astral booster. Not really putting our mages into the fight yet, but we just want to see how they respond at first. Be it because they do have a lot of sneaking troops. Of course, they do have their giant armies, and we see their god over there. We want to see how they're going to respond to all these slaves coming over and all these raiding parties and Vanheim fucking with them over here, and we just want to see what they're going to respond with, because we don't really want to show our hand first and have them, what's the word I'm looking for, have them prepare for a particular army or be able to counter us in a certain way. So by using these slaves, of course, I don't really care about them. We're making tons of them a turn, so if we're going to lose a lot of them next turn, it's okay. I'm going to have so many more. They're just chaff. They are just siege units. I mean, they're an expendable force for us for sure. And then they'll probably be making us, by raiding all these provinces, they're going to be making us way more money than they cost us to begin with, be it the unrest that the province took on from capturing them, or the tiny upkeep that they have. Being 2 gold a year, so take that 2 divided by 12, and there you go. That's how much each one of them costs us in upkeep. I very well could be trying just to hit construction 6 before it's wartime. That's why I haven't moved everything else out. That is also a pretty important fact, because this is most of our research points per turn are in these priests currently that are all sitting at home researching. After that, we're going to go up to enchantment 6, so we'll have a few boosters here in construction 6 that we want, along with lightless lanterns. Then from there, we'll move up to enchantment 6, since that's rigor mortis area. Yeah, rigor mortis area, heat from hell we're going to be able to cast. Arrow fin we can cast. Anything in particular in earth, not really, that I want. We might be able to do relief. But yeah, so that's going to be some nice spells there in level 6. We do have foul vapors available to us as well. Then we're going to go up through the alteration paths looking for fog warriors there on the later end of that. Anything before then that we particularly want? Nothing's really coming to mind as I'm looking through it. Ooh, darkness would be good. I think darkness would be useful for us for sure. So that's at level 6 before we get to Fog Warriors at 7. Doom, we could cast some Doom. Mass Protection is going to be very, very beneficial. Will of Fates we'll be able to cast. Ground Army we can cast. Warriors of Muspelheim we can cast. And then Army of Gold, Army of Lead there at the bottom, which we can get to for sure. We will have someone that will be high enough to cast, but we already have a Earth 3 there. We can definitely get to that. I mean, we have Astral Mages that have Earth 2, so Earth 3 with boots, and then just join them into a communion that also has Earth Path in it. And we can definitely easily get to Army of Gold, Army of Lead. This is what I meant by I should have already have had the Condors. So that's going to be our main fighting force, and we should have been on this turn looking something like this. We should have done that. I think it was like a turn or two after I started making my condors, which I waited too long. I don't know. But this is, I mean, turn 28. Well, we should have already had condors by then. Yeah. So that was something I think I spoke about last episode, saying I should have already had it ready. Not saying that we're going to have a bad time, but I do just need to get my main killing force of my army ready. I should already have them ready, honestly. So that's turn 28. Let's go check out turn 29. Maybe that's when I realize, okay, I should already have my condors. What am I doing? I'm just trying to get as much research in as possible. That's what I'm doing. That's honestly what it is. Like, I'll do everything I can just to get 1 or 2 possible research points in every turn, whether it's put a booster on somebody that's not necessarily needing it at the moment, just to get a handful more research points. If you notice here, we did miss turn 29. I forgot to save it. My bad. I would have loved to see all those raiding slaves, but now we'll see the turn after. Dwarven Hammer from Vanheim. I know that was a very, we led up. Maybe we stalled that turn. I didn't think we stalled. No, I remember what it is. There was something, it does happen very seldomly, and it has happened to other people I know because they've said something about it, where they do their turn, and it says their turn is done, and then the turn rolls, and it stalls, and I'm like, what the fuck? But, yeah, it happens. It happens. I guess I just didn't save it either. I do think I remember that happening one time, and I think it's happened to my partner, not in this game, but in the previous game we played, or if it's in the one we're currently playing in. So we see Ohm and Pangea fighting here, just PD, so we'll not necessarily watch that. We see Relay taking some of Vanheim's forces, or underwater forces, so I spoke to Relay. I said, man, we don't really want to keep fighting. We'll let you have these underwater provinces if you leave the rest of our land alone, and we'll have a nat 3. And they said, yeah, sounds good. So we don't have to worry about Relay anymore. We see a Gartha fighting end here. Van's fighting a big PD dump from Nabah. Van's fighting Nabah. I told you, Van had a lot of raiding forces over there. So I'm trying to take control. Well, so it looks like we'll have to deal with that. The adventurer has joined. So I think we did originally own this one, was taken by Independence. We are sitting on the boss cap here at this point. It looks like they raided these 2 back from us. We're going to move and pick up the spearmen here. I think they routed from the battle we had on the boss cap. Moving over to take 78 to get, well, actually this income is actually coming in through this river path here, so that's not too bad. Moving over here. I'm moving some commanders back home. Of course, it does look like we lost a lot of slaves, and that was expected. The archers, the camel riders did a lot better than I expected, and killed a lot of our commanders, causing the slaves to rout, or I think we just routed in general. Army size isn't really bothered by it too much. And now we are summoning condors. So between a stall, so that stall really fucked us over, because he was able to attack our groups before we were able to put PD down, before we were able to move them. So it was just slave groups here that he attacked, being here, and this one died from Independence. I guess we did have someone move onto the cap from over here, and we were able to take it. But still, anyway, that was very unfortunate for us, what happened there, that we stalled on that. But we will try to recover the best we can, which isn't going to be too bad. I mean, these provinces aren't too bad income-wise. We'll just have to take them back. So yeah, getting our condors ready, having 4 summons here. Forecast of condors should make us have an army in just one turn. From there, we also do have all of our Horde Skeleton casters. We'll have construction 6 next turn, so we'll be ready to move out. Making some frost brands, some more pelts, more vine shields. Sending that stuff over to Vanheim. Yep, that's all we have going on. Of course, since we didn't have that last turn, we will be looking at another turn. So this will be a 4-turn episode, I guess, since we had to skip one of them. We do need to move some flyers over here to help out Vanheim with his siege. But yeah, Vanheim's doing fine, just raiding all this. I think he did raid some of this here, and then they took that from him, and then he raided down here in this area. I don't remember. Goodness, I don't remember. But yeah, that stall and whatnot, we were looking fine, and then we stalled, and that fucked up our plan. So yeah, we're on the back foot now for this 4. We see N taking a lot of Agarthan land over here. Now Agartha itself is right here at 113. Now I know they haven't taken that yet, but we do see Agartha moving southward to 107. Not sure why, when he has all this land that he needs to be taken back in his main area here. Looks like Vanheim getting a good amount of income here from all the land he has raided. Let's go ahead and check out. Looks like he's moving this stuff out. Let's check out turn 31. Oh, I need to check the globals, make sure no one's put up any new globals from that turn that we stalled on. Alright. Oh, it's a shit ton of battles. Condors, 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 condors. Of course, that's what we really want. Our Earth Reader dying to 1 PD. Very sweet. The MA rating. Nazca rating. Our forces were beaten, so... Oh, no commanders here. That's what happened. And attacked Agartha in 1. We see... This was the force that we left on the boss. We left 1 slave on the boss just to see what they'll break out with. This is what they have inside. And we see how poorly slaves really do against PD. Now we have Vanheim taking a province. If they have any PD dumps, we just have Vanheim deal with it. This one not going too poorly for us. Of course, we did have a huge number of verses there, 29, but that's what we have to do when we're using slaves. War Shamblers taking another province. Very nice. Ulm fighting. Relay taking the units we couldn't take out. Take those Ichthids out. Oh, they only had Triton commanders. That's why we couldn't take them out. Nabah beaten by strong force. So they took another province here from us. They took another one. We lost an enchanter. I think we made this enchanter this turn, and he was in. That's why he was in that province. Just looking through, and have some Malacca here. Vanheim, Malaccas, and we have barbarians that are going to be fucking with us here. So 1, 2, 3. You're patrolling. So that's 43 condors. Vine shields, lightless lanterns. Lots of lightless lanterns, frost brands, making more stuff for Vanheim, lightless lanterns, frost brands. That's what it's really looking like. Capturing slaves, moving you back home to summon some condors, sending some slaves over to take 38. Moving and patrolling. So we're moving and patrolling to 43, hoping that he's going to attack 43 to just sit on one of our forts. That's where we're moving and patrolling the condors, along with a Inca here that can bless them. Of course, our bless, if you don't remember, is this right here. So pretty nice for us to have. Attack skill, defense skill, strength. Blood Surge are going to be able to put some work in. So now that we have regrouped and have a decent amount of slaves, we're going to go and take 89. He might push out from his fort here, but honestly, he needs to be dealing with Vanheim raiding all of his shit. And we did move a bunch of slaves over here. What we need to do is take control of the siege so we can siege it down a lot faster than Vanheim can. All these raids here from in kind of blocking us from moving in that direction, or else we would be. Looking like Ulm still has a lot of fight left in them, so that's good to see. Zabalba. We see some Pan forces over here as well. Kind of focusing down Simeon, I guess, after he lost, but he should be able to replenish that army he had pretty quickly since they're on the cheaper side of units. Maybe allowing Ulm to break out kind of here and threaten Pangaea in some sort of way. And just moving a lot of slaves and whatnot up. These slaves and these mages are moving into forts. So yeah, that's really what we have going on here. Of course, the research is kind of lower because we're making so many lightless lanterns. We're going to use up all of our fire gems and make lightless lanterns. Not really worrying about Sapayas yet. We'll focus more on them around turn 430-ish, 40-ish. Into the later game, that's more of our late game unit. So, how many condors are we making actually? So each costs 9 air gems and gives us 10. But with our god here, it's going to give us 13. Thus we have 3 extra levels of air. So that's going to be 33 more condors this turn, taking us up to 70 something. So that's going to be pretty nice. And like I said, we should have already had these condors ready, and we could have really thrown the offensive onto Nabaa and probably pushed for Nabaa itself at this point already. And you see they have taken Iriu, so we want to move over here and take that for sure. Not sure how much of a force they have since they've already moved their god back. I don't think they really had a whole lot going on for them. Because I think Iriu already lost all of his troops, so they didn't really have to storm with a lot. Should also go think about taking his throne here relatively soon before In can get something set on it. And we'll go from there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I also noticed that we finished up site searching over here, so we're moving back home. But make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.